And welcome back. It's New Comic Book Day. And I've got comics that are new. Let's take a look. Assorted Crisis Events. Avengers, part of the One World Under Doom story. Batman, part of Hush 2. Two covers there. Three covers. Four covers. Eddie Brock Carnage. Critical Role Vox Machina Origins. That's still Series 4. I believe that might be the last part of Series 4. And they're going all the way back to Series 1, which I believe was never printed. It was digital. So, Daredevil Cold Day in Hell. DC Connect. Of course, that talks about DC Comics coming up in about 2 months. DC Pride to the Farthest Reaches, another hardcover edition. This includes last year's DC Pride special and a couple of other short stories featuring LGBTQ plus content. Defenders of the Earth. Doom's Division, still part of One World Under Doom. Elf Quest, the original quest, Book 2, Forbidden Grove. These are really nice hardbacks. They're kind of simple, but they're also just really nice. And it's another format for presenting Elf Quest. Flash and a lot of glare. There you go. G.I. Joe and 2 covers. And 3 covers. Green Arrow and some glare. And 2 covers. Green Lantern and some glare. Hey, that's Spectre. 2 covers. You know Hal Jordan and the Spectre have a connected history, right? Harley Quinn. I'm not going to tell you what that history is, but 3 covers. 4 covers. Usually I'm not... Gwilym March's art doesn't thrill me in a lot of cases. But there's a couple of covers coming up that I just find to be really pretty. And that's not a quality sort of discussion, but it just sort of works. And that's one of them. Hornsby and Halo. Hyde Street. IDW previews. I talked about IDW stuff coming out in about 2 months. Jenny Sparks collects the recent miniseries by Tom King and Jeff Spokes. Gonna read that. Justice League Unlimited. 2 covers there. Jenny was one of my favorite characters from the old Wildstorm days. I have not read much of her since DC absorbed Wildstorm. So but I read the first issue of that series and I was definitely interested. So Lilith and 2 covers, 1 packaged for your safety. It's not even that naughty. I've seen the image. Magic. 2 covers. 3 covers. Magic's another one of those surprises this year. That's good. Absolute Martian Manhunter. 2 covers. 3 covers. And that's it. Okay. And then Marvel previews. Of course, it's Marvel Comics coming out in about 2 months. Metamorpho. That's the last issue of Metamorpho, I believe. Monster High Pride special. And 2 covers there. My Little Pony. Generation 5 greatest hits. Mr. Terrific Year 1. Of course, Mr. Terrific's going to be in that Superman movie coming up in, I don't know, a month and a half, something like that. I'm excited. Mummy. Peacekeeper presents Vigilante and Eagly. Predator vs. Spider-Man. Rogue Savage Land. Spider-Boy. Ultimate Spider-Man. Stranger Things Dungeons & Dragons. And 2 covers there. Superman Volume 4, I believe, Rise of the Superwoman. That collects recent issues from that series. And then, hey, there's another new issue of Superman. And then Superman Secret Origin gets a new printing. That collects that miniseries from years ago. Written by Jeff Johns, drawn by Gary Frank. The same team on Doomsday Clock. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures. 2 covers. 3 covers for issue 25. Thunderbolts Epic Collection. This is more stuff from back in the day. Of course, it doesn't feature any of the characters that are in the new Thunderbolts movie, so that's fine. Usagi Yojimbo, Space Usagi, White Star Rising, that collects that recent miniseries. Venom Original Sin, that's a one-shot for Venom, and there's 2 covers there. Void Rivals Volume 3, that collects recent issues from that series. And then a new issue of Void Rivals. Werewolf by Night, again, packaged for your safety, but it wasn't that deadly. That's the last issue of that miniseries. Or maxi series. 10 issues. I don't know. What If Donald Duck Became Iron Man? The first collection for the new Wolverine series. It's 5 or 6 issues of that. And then Wolverine and Kitty Pryde continues. Again, hearkening back to Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. Both of these series written by Chris Claremont and placed in the good old days, so to speak. Absolute Wonder Woman. And a surprising amount of glare, even though we're all the way on the bottom shelf. It's rude, I tell you. The 3 covers there. And then Giant Size X-Men, which is part of a mini crossover. There's going to be, I think, 5 of these one-shots. And it really is a story featuring Ms. Marvel. So all my Ms. Marvel people will be getting that. And then Uncanny X-Men. And I have 2 extra things. Just like we did the G.I. Joe paperback compendium, we've now got a Transformers compendium from Skybound. And it is just a bunch of 80s Marvel Transformers goodiness. Same kind of lighter paper, but it is so chunky. But I'm sort of loving this format. So Transformers will now be done the same way. I don't know how many of these there are going to be. The Transformers series didn't run as long as the G.I. Joe series did. But there were more mini-series and one-shot type things that went with Transformers. So we'll see what all they end up including in that run of compendiums. And then a book that would not have been on the shelf, but is now on the shelf. And this is what happens when special orders get canceled. Very late. This is an omnibus of Marvel's giant size issues from the 70s. Just about most titles had a giant size or 2, and very often they were original stories, and they often also fit into the ongoing monthly story. This one contains just a bunch of different things. Superstars, Fantastic Four, Heroes featuring Spider-Man, and Spider-Man, don't think too much about it. There's, we put Spider-Man all the places we could. Chillers, which was about Curse of Dracula, and then Dracula, see, it's a theme. Creatures, Werewolf, Defenders, Avengers, Man-Thing, more Chillers, Supervillain Team Up, and X-Men, which launched the international team, Storm, Wolverine, Colossus, Nightcrawler, etc. And then also the Invaders, which was a favorite series of mine. So this is a cool volume. It's sort of a mixed bag because it's all over the place character-wise, but this is a great snapshot of Marvel in the 70s, and this would be a fun thing on anybody's shelf. That is everything for this week. If you see something you like, let me know. I'll try and get it for you. Subscribers, pick up your comics. Do your best. Keep me posted. If we need to adjust your lists, we can talk about that too. If you get in over your head, we'll make adjustments. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon.